Now the wonderful thing about collecting your own mushrooms is that when you collect them and there's a glut of supply, you can do something with them at home. You can preserve them and keep them for later on during the winter. I've got a few here which you can buy. Again, I haven't dried these myself, but these are chanterelles which I purchased from a supermarket this morning. And as you can see there, look, I'll open it, put a few, there we are, and you can see these have been dried. And they're full, intense flavour when they've been dried. And they're easy to reconstitute by just putting them in water for a little while and squeezing them, the water out, and they then would be ready to use in, say, 15 to 20 minutes. So that's the wonderful thing. Other ways that you can preserve mushrooms is to put them in a jar and cover them with a good oil. Now these are a selection of wild mushrooms that have been covered in olive oil, and they'll keep in an airtight jar for a very, very long time. Excellent. And once you've used the mushrooms, of course, the oil inside is intense flavour and can be used for salad dressings. You can preserve mushrooms by pickling them in a vinegar, and the same thing again. Once you've used the mushrooms, what you're left with is a flavoured vinegar ideal for salads. The other way of preserving mushrooms is to freeze them, but they don't freeze so well. And the important thing you need to remember if you are freezing is that you do need to make sure they're cleaned and washed first. Probably the oldest way of preserving mushrooms is to salt them. And this is how they used to do it many, many years ago. In a jar, using 3 times the amount of salt to each part of a stack of mushrooms in layers and put into a jar. Excellent way of preserving. Just to say one other thing about drying, if you are drying fungi, of course they do lose their shape, whereas if you're pickling them or you are putting them in an oil jar, as you can see from these mushrooms, they do keep their shape.